Welcome to season 2 of the What to Say TV show. I am so excited because this season is going to be even more exciting, more fun, and even more entertaining. We're hoping to make it better than season 1. We'll have a fantastic lineup. There will be lots of guests waiting for you, and I'm going to be getting them to reveal their tips and tricks and even some of their secrets. Whether you are a business leader, an entrepreneur, or public speaker, or whether you just want to learn more how to communicate more effectively, this show is for you. So join me and keep watching so that you can learn what to say. And welcome everyone to another episode of the What to Say TV show, where we talk all things communication. And if you are an entrepreneur or you are a business leader, this is the place to be to learn all the tips, tricks, and tools for better relationship building and communication. Because as I always say, everything begins with communication. Now, today we have a wonderful guest today, Dr. Haig Johns. He is a chiropractor and in the Florida area. And we will come back with his introduction right after this short commercial break and a word from our sponsors. And we're back. Welcome again to Dr. Haig Johns. Dr. Johns, I really, and everybody calls you Haig, so if that's okay with you, can I, since we know each other?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Okay.
Anything to make communication easier, right?
There you go. I love it. First thing I'd like to do is have you introduce yourself to our viewers because you know yourself better than anybody else.
All right, well, thanks. Well, my name is Dr. Haig John, and I'm a chiropractor in Melbourne, Florida. I'm a host of a couple of podcasts, Innate Express podcast, which is meditations and visualizations. We talk about abundance philosophy. We have another one, Synapse Philosophy Group. It's a podcast, and that's spiritual chiropractic philosophy for everyone. And we have another one, Innate Interviews. And then I'm the founder and the teacher of Innate Adjusting workshops. And so a lot in the communication world, so we can work to change the world. That's really why we do all those things, so we can help people live better lives and have a better place to live.
That is absolutely wonderful. And that's a mission that I think I share with you in the fact that it's important that we understand our ability to communicate not only with each other, with ourselves. Let's talk a little bit about like the internal conversations that we have through your podcast and the spiritual nature of things. Talk a little bit about how the body tells us things, because I know you know a lot about that, being a chiropractor, of course.
Well, that's our inner intelligence, really, right? We call that innate intelligence or spirit. And that has, it runs the show within us. We don't have to tell it to do things. But sometimes it tells us, it tells us to do things like digest our food or make us new cells in our body. But sometimes it gives us information on the outside. What is pain? And, a lot of people think of chiropractors, pain doctors, but that's really the small part of it. The big part is really better function, because why would there be pain? What is your body saying? It's knocking at the door. Please help me. I've tried to fix this on my own. I need some help. So really that's the end result, is the pain is that function from within. So I look at how the body is communicating. When it's communicating well and properly, then our body's functioning optimally. So I look for really optimal function from the newborn and pregnant mommy to, somebody that's not so newborn and, maybe in the 90s or in their hundreds. We have one woman, she's 103 years old, and I love her. She asked me, can I take up Tai Chi? And I said, you can take Kung Fu if you want to. You're doing so great, 103 years old. Enjoy your life, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that brings me to the topics a little bit more in depth here, is that we know that our bodies are designed, just like they're finding out that plants communicate to each other. Our body communicates, and it's in terms of symptoms. And so, to run somewhere and get a pill to suppress those symptoms is not always the best way to go. Because like I said, whether it be pain, whether it be a skin rash, whether it be just loss of range of motion or function, our body is telling us things. And can you give me a couple of good examples of ways that our body might be telling us something that we really need to pay attention to, and not just, reach for the drugs?
Well, there's so many different things, really. You mentioned just a few. And, the internal environment expressing itself in the external, right? And, a lot of what we talk about with people too is really even their relationships. If something's going on, we're dealing with something within us. Just say if your neck is bothering you. How are we really with our relationships with our friends and our families or spouse or whatever it might be, or children? Sometimes we might be quicker to snap or what have you. Our communication is inhibited from being really who we truly want to be when that internal environment isn't as happy, or even how we're working and functioning at work. If we're sluggish, we're tired all the time, things just really set us off, like, it's just really annoying. Most of the time, that's sort of an internal environment thing. Once we clear up all the junk within, the way we relate to the world actually begins to change. And I have people tell me that all the time. Since I'm getting adjusted, I have a better relationship with my husband or my wife. My children just seem a little more at ease. They're calmer. They're able to function better in school. And you know what? They don't drive us as crazy at home, or they're even better listeners. That's a big deal for being a father of a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. Those are big deals, right?
Yeah.
So, really, it's not always the big things. I've got sciatic pain. Oh my gosh, something is happening here, because those nerves that go into the leg that create the sciatic nerve also go to the prostate, the colon, the ovaries, the uterus, all these things. If those things aren't getting life properly, we're going to have better function. The pain is like I said, hey, we're in jeopardy. Give me some help.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of different ways.
So really what you're saying is that we are all not only connected internally, we are also connected externally to each other and the greater world. And I think really importantly to know is that when we change ourselves, we start to change our world. So a lot of times we need to start by looking in the mirror first and saying, yes, I need to change myself, my attitude, my connection with my body, all of the different things that are out there. Could you, before we do that though, however, it is time for another wonderful, as some people said,
Gotcha.
obscene profit center break. Welcome back from our sponsors in just a minute. And we're back with Dr. Haig Johns, and we are talking a little bit about the connections we have with our body, how we communicate, our body communicates to us. And you can now answer the question that I posed to you up before the break, which was how, since we're all interconnected, and how we change, we talked a little bit about how we change ourselves, we change our environment. Let's talk about how we are connected inside. I mean, you just talked about if this is hurting, this and this and this hurting. How do you assess somebody and make those obvious changes? Obviously, years of experience and practice as a practitioner, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, people want to change, don't know how. But when we're talking about emotional, we're also talking about the physical. And, often it's what's happening within. And, to say, I need to change things. It's not always easy for people, right? Especially when there's chaos. Well, as a chiropractor, just give you a little idea of what I do. A chiropractor, we look for something called a vertebral subluxation. And when that subluxation is the spinal column, the bones of the column, when they get out of place, let's say the first bone in the neck's called the atlas, if that bone's out of place, it's irritating the brainstem, the spinal cord itself. There's almost no way to function properly that way. I noticed even in myself, I get way more irritable. I get grouchy. It might not even hurt, but I've little things just start to really get under my skin because I'm already at a stress level within my body. Just a little bit more just sends us off because the nervous system itself is irritated. So what I'm looking for is to help remove that irritation, bring more harmony into the body. Then things start changing with us emotionally and physically, right? So just to say, I want to change myself in my life, doing some other things are also important to take the steps to make those changes as well. So I'm not a pain doctor. I'm a life doctor. I'm really helping your life express itself at its absolute best with the least amount of input into the nerve system, so the body is really functioning in harmony with the nerve system itself. Then because the nerve system controls our immune system, it controls our digestive system, it controls our sensation, it also controls our emotional system, right? That's part of our central nerve system. So when that is clear and functioning at its best, we are clearer within. And just to give you a little story, there was a mental institution that was by B.J. Palmer in Davenport, Iowa in the early 1900s, and it was called Clear View, having a clear view of the world. And, you being a psychologist, you see people really have barricades from seeing the world as it really is and having a clear view of themselves as well. So he had tremendous results. And they only moved one bone, the top bone on the atlas, actually, for that they cared for those people. And we've seen tremendous things, over the past couple of decades I've been in practice. So really, it's clearing up the inner environment so we can see the world anew.
So really, when we think about subluxations, we're talking about barriers to flow of energy and flow of the blood vessels, all of the things that make us human, and it really makes a major difference. Now, you also are, in addition to a practitioner, you're also a business person. So how do you think that the ideas that you have learned through the philosophy of chiropractic really help your business and professional life? How does that work?
Well, I teach chiropractors as well, and that's part of my seminar series is, innate workshops, and of really, seeing as, serving. I like the word serving as many people as they can so we can make a better world. And seeing when we're in our service hand compared to our business hand, the business hand and the service hands really shouldn't meet. But when we have to be that businessman or woman, and really we've got to run the show, and being clear in our communication, clear with our fees, There are no hidden fees. We're very clear with things. Being clear of what it takes work, time, effort, repetition. We also teach classes in our office to come to be accepted as a I don't use the word patient. We call people because to become a person that comes to the office, you have to come to one of our classes to help you really understand what you're getting here. Because most people, chiropractic, even if they've seen chiropractors, the chiropractic understanding and philosophy is brand new to them because usually they're not taught it. So for me, I want everybody to be a chiropractor. I'd love to see more chiropractors. So I teach people about themselves, their body, what really is health, what is a subluxation, how does the nerve system create all these beautiful things, and what does an adjustment do, and why it's important for their children, their husband, their wife, their grandfather, their grandmother, everybody to have a clear functioning nerve system. And in reality, once you're starting to hold that adjustment, I start seeing you less and less and less. It's not about more and more and more. I miss people, but to ultimately, you're holding an adjustment, your body is functioning and freer. So we we do our absolute best to communicate what it is that we're doing, what it costs, what time it's going to take, and to make sure that you're in the right place.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit more about that when we take our next break for our sponsors, and we'll be right back with the What to Say TV show. And we're back once again with the What to Say TV show with our guest, Haig. And I used both names. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
Let's talk a little bit more about your building relationships as a practitioner. One of the things I always like to talk about is how are we able to build relationships with not only our clients, patients, people that we serve, our service individuals, and also fellow practitioners, related practitioners. How do we build relationships in the best and most positive light? Because if you're an entrepreneur watching this, we always can use another tip or trick just to be a little better at what we do. So that's also our service for you, for me, to give out to our viewing audience. So what could you say to that?
Well, there are many.
I know.
There's some. That's a really good point, because the first thing when you started saying that, the first thing I thought of is love. Loving the people and communicating them and telling the truth. And being at ease and being part of the community. And I eat at the restaurants near me and all these things, but communicating of who we are and being clear in what our own messages are. That means being congruent with what we want to be to who we truly are. And that congruency really is it takes work for ourselves to know that we know who we really are. So finding the true self. And part of my going back to my seminar series, really, and we're bringing out this to the public in 2023. That's this year. This is 2023. 2023. Yay! We're gonna do workshops a lot more for the public, and really getting to the self. And who are we within? What is it that makes us tick? And the better we know ourselves, the better we can care for others, and the better our relationships are, because we know how we act and what our triggers are and all those type of things. My father was a psychiatrist. My sister's a psychologist. Oh, wow. And I've heard sort of these things my whole life in a way, and I realized how important it truly is, from being a practitioner, but then also being a spouse, a father, and an employer, and all those type of things. So, being congruent with ourselves, telling the truth, and really loving the people. If you're in a service world, or even from selling dresses to selling whatever, or being a professional, is loving the people enough to give them something of really great quality, and you're sharing that with them. And I just hired 2 new doctors who are amazing. And really what I tell people, I hired them for me, to adjust me. I'm just sharing them with everybody else because they're so awesome.
and that's part of the relationship building. You have done something that a lot of people may not recognize, but I'm going to point it out, is the fact that not only were you willing to make the introduction and bridge the gap to allow those 2 practitioners to build their own relationships, but you also let your clients, patients, people in your practice understand that you had trust, you had faith in them, and that you were supportive of them. So they should also give them a try or build that relationship with them. So you kind of held out that bridge, which I think building relationships is so important, by introducing that other person that you may know to someone, to support that person as they build a relationship with clients, patients, colleagues, or the community, whichever it is, in whatever faction. So that I think was a phenomenal thing that you were able to do. So thank you for doing that. And I met
Well, thanks
them.
for pointing it out.
They're great guys.
Well, I've been caring for people, some in my office, since almost the day I've opened, that have been here in wellness care. And that's what it really is all about. And a lot of people are used to me, and I understand that 100%. And I honor that. And I feel grateful for it. And, I want to share these other guys and give them some experience. They have a lot of experience already, but, they're amazing doctors. But I get it when people are that way. And I thank you for giving us some clarity, Dr. Julee, about that.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Let's take a final break, and we'll be right back with some closing comments and some other information that you will need. And we'll be right back. We're back once again for the final part of our show. And I am so lucky to have Dr. Haig Johns just that habit of me to say that S. Sorry about that, guys.
You're not the first.
See, even me can, we all can make mistakes, so I'm correcting that. The most important thing is final comments, Dr. John. What do you feel is the most important thing that you do as a practitioner to build that relationship bond with not only your patient people, your other colleagues, your employees, and the greater community?
Well, we're talking about communication here. And, it's not what you're saying, it's who you're being, right? Yeah. And being a good listener, and, being really there for someone and them knowing it, whether it's an employee or a patient, and really caring. If it's fake and false, it comes through, and make a shift. And
Authenticity
authenticity.
is the beginning of building trust, and that's so important. You're absolutely right.
Thank you. I mean, thank you for sharing that too. And then that goes back to what I said before, is love. The more we love ourselves and love others, I think we really change the world. And being congruent and that authenticity is truly important. And I know not many people really want to talk about those things, and it's not romantic love, but loving our fellow man and woman, and caring enough to tell the truth and be there for them, and be to listening and sharing. So we're all in this together. It's not a competition in any way. So we're creating greater community, is what I really feel.
And I really think it starts by, and not everybody has this in their personality. I think it's, you must love people. You've got to really love them at their best, at their worst. You have to love people. And I think those of us in healthcare professions, I think we're drawn to that profession because of our genuine respect and love for the people that we serve. And I can't say enough about, I know your practice personally, but I can't say enough about how important that is, to allay the fears, to diagnose the problem, to treat the problem, and to while it's going on, make that person feel special, important. Because as we all know, it's not what you say, it's how you make them feel. And that was a quote from, I can't remember who actually, but y'all know it, look it up. Google that one. So how would you say that you do that in your practice? Or, and I mean, I know that I can see that, I can feel it from our interview, I know you personally. How would you say that, what's the one thing you do to make that happen?
Well, is it one thing? I don't know if it's one
Oh,
thing.
maybe it's more. You can
Who
share all you
knows? I
want.
mean,
I won't stop you.
well, it's really is, be, do, have. It's the being. Who are you first? If there's something keeping us from really connecting in, either big relationships or small relationships, if there's something in our way, we've got to find out what is within us that's keeping us from being where we're meant to be and who we're meant to be with. So, and then it's love. I care about the people. And I teach that to our students too. I love chiropractic because it's changed personally my physical health, then with my family and everyone else. And I love the people enough to share it with them.
Yeah.
And I feel everyone should have their subluxations checked. And really, I I wish it was something so, you read a book and everything changes in your life. It's constantly is work. You work at it. And there's times where I feel like, okay, I need to care for myself. And
Mhm.
sometimes we're not present. And that's the other thing, being present with somebody,
Oh,
being a good listener, right? Yeah. Not just waiting for the next thing to say because I'm right, but just being present, being clear, being grounded, sharing it. I'm here for you. And people know it. You can feel it within. So, if anything is being grounded and being present with someone, being in the moment.
yeah. I so agree, because you don't know what is going on in that other person's life, whether they're struggling, whether they're happy, sad, or they've got to worry. And for you to be able to be present with them so that you can watch for the signs, listen to not just what they say, but how they're feeling, and then do something about it. And I think a lot of our society, with all the elderly social isolation, all the communication issues that we are facing now because of all of the separation of human to human, is going to be, an ongoing problem, not only in terms of our, physical health, our mental health, our emotional health. And I think it's gonna just be, it's going to be an ongoing problem that luckily there's practitioners out there just like you that have their eyes open, that are present in the moment and can help address these things. Haig, can you give people how they would get in touch with you if they're interested in more information or an appointment or whatever? Because this is going to be obviously worldwide, so maybe they can't come to see you personally, but I'm sure that some of the things that you have on your website will be of value as well. So give all your social media.
Well, I'll give you that. And, people do fly from all over the world here. And I teach my seminars all over the world. We're planning Madrid, Spain right now.
Oh, can I go?
In Brazil, come on.
I'm
Brazil,
ready.
Mexico, 2 or 3 in the US. This is just 2023. And that's innate, INNATE workshops.com. And then my website for the office is getchiro.net. And that is our website for our office here. And social media wise, it's you Google my name, Haig John, I come up all over the place. And then our YouTube channel, is Innate Express. We have a lot of great testimonials, but we also have a lot of great philosophy and things on there. And my the podcast is Synapse Philosophy Podcast, Chiropractic Philosophy for Everyone. And that's on all the places you listen to podcasts and on YouTube as well. If you just Google my name, I think a lot of stuff comes up.
Probably,
we've been doing it for a really long time. And, I'm open. If people have questions, you can call me. People call me from literally all over the world at very weird hours at times. But
you're an expert in what you do. That's why people want to know. So that's okay.
And that's where we're here for. And, if I could help change someone's life, we do it. And so, that's where we are. And that's the mission, is to create a better world. Yeah. And that's the world that we live in. And then, for each individual's world. So, and I say I do it selfishly because I want my children to grow up in a healthy, happy place.
Absolutely. That's phenomenal. And I'm so happy to have you on our show today. If you are an entrepreneur, you're a healthcare practitioner, you're anyone that wants to develop their communication skills, or somebody that wants to get on to the What to Say TV show, please connect with me. I'm under Dr. Julee Hafner on all the social medias. I'm also under Dr. Julee, and ask Dr. Julee for all of the possible social medias. Just give it a try, because I'm on there, and there'll be some new websites coming and new information all the time. So, and I'm also on a new platform called QP. So catch me there, and you'll be seeing lots of things. Join the Facebook group, all that good stuff. Thank you so much, Haig. It's been a delight and a pleasure. Hopefully, maybe we can do this again at some point. And for those of you that are looking for either one of us, I'm sure if you Google us, you'll find us. Next time, we want to make sure that you know not just how to say it, but what to say. Take care, and I'll see you on the next set. Bye-bye. That concludes our show for today. Thank you so much for watching, and don't miss our next episode. Remember to subscribe to our channel, and see you next time on the What to Say TV show right here on Mupo Entertainment.
Show the skill for your success. Top professionals call her to gain impact and speak confidently. She has shared the stage with serial entrepreneurs from J.T. Fox and George Ross to celebrities like Vanilla Ice and Jillian Michaels. Let Dr. Julee bring power to your business relationships.